Kia ora!
Kia ora!
It's your Hype Aunties and we're back again. I'm Auntie Sarah.
I'm Auntie Manu.
And today we're going to take you on a little discussion around whether it's a chicken or an egg.
Ooh.
Do you start building an online community first or do you launch your business first? And so we've got some thoughts around this, but let's recap what we talked about last week.
Yeah, how did we come to the chicken and the egg conversation? Last week, we put out there the question whether you were thinking about starting a business. There is a lot of uncertainty, but a lot of opportunities as well. That might actually be the nudge for some of you to start thinking of the ideas that might be brewing within you. Is it a time to start a business? Do we have the resources? Are we entrepreneurial enough? Is this the path? Like so many questions. And then this morning, I came across a podcast. It's called Big Business by Brittany Sanders. And she was asked whether to build a business first or a community. And I thought that's actually a really good question to ask yourself.
100%. One of the things that you'll see us doing is that we're building a community first. So we have no offering as such in market, but we want to see whether there's any interest for people to talk about taking on the adventure of launching a business and whether they want to learn about how that works and how you can get help being promoted. And we're trying lots of angles. So one of the thoughts that we have around building this community first is that we get to experiment and take our time to talk about the things that matter to us, that we have something of value to give in those areas, and then taking our time to find our niche. So that allows us to kind of go, oh, who did this resonate with? And then we can kind of go, oh, how do we find more of those people? So we're exploring both with content, we're exploring with channels, we're exploring with format, and all of those things are really interesting things to play with. And it really works for us. We've found that it's taken lots of reps, lots of tries, lots of posts to kind of go, this one is good, this one is not good. The things we did in this one that are good are these things. Let's repeat those things. So it takes a lot of practice to get good. And one of the great things about starting to build your community first is that you have the opportunity to get good while your community is really small. And the most forgiving people are your audience, like your mum. So you're not getting lots of criticism. You're really your own worst critic, and you get the opportunity to go, oh, okay, we did this wrong, we did that wrong, here's 600 things we can improve. And that's automatically going to happen when you start doing something brand new without support around you. Because of course you could hire a team if you're loaded and you have all the resources in the world. You could hire a really professional team, and right from the very first day, your content could be super professional. That's possible. But for most people starting out, they don't have all the resources in the world. They're having to DIY their content. And in order to get good at doing DIY content, you really do need a lot of reps. So that's one of the reasons that I think starting to build your community and having a go at social media content before you launch the business is a fantastic option.
I also think that it takes time. It takes time to connect with our audience and build a community and see who is it relevant to, who is the kind of person that will actually resonate with what we're saying. So it takes time. It's a moment for us to connect, to nurture, to see how to communicate in the best possible way. As you say, with the getting your reps, you really understand how to say your message right. How does actually someone take it? Sometimes it's funny because we say things and then someone else might actually interpret it in a completely different way. Did it ever happen to you?
It happens to me quite a lot. Also, I think we're finding how you articulate what the message is that you want to send. is a big part of this process. So you listen back to your own content and you go, gosh, that's convoluted. Like I used 100 words and I could say the same thing in 5 words.
How can I make it short and sharp?
And over time you can refine that, and that comes from seeing and hearing yourself deliver that message and just going, oh, that's too long. One of the really big things around creating content is the short attention spans. So we've seen over and over and over again, there's this huge drop off after like 8 or 9 seconds on any video. And that's really like the modern attention span coming into play. So you have to grab people with a really good hook in that first few seconds for them to stick with you and carry on listening to your message. So that's something else that takes time to learn. We're still learning that. I'm just like, I'm big on like use the building of the community as some of the practice ground for you to get better at building good and content that resonates with your audience, which you're identifying as you go along. So that when you launch your business, you already know who your audience is. You already know what kind of posts resonate with them. You already know what channel you want to go on. Like, is it Instagram heavy? Is it YouTube? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Like, what platform actually reaches that audience now that you've identified them? So I think all of that is learnings. And as much as you want to know all of that stuff ahead of time, you think that you know, once you get started, you'll realize very quickly how many times you have to iterate and have different goes at it to get those answers correct for your business.
Yeah, which takes us to, if you don't have a business, if you don't have something that you already created, what are you even talking about? Well, exactly that. Perhaps it's a moment for the sharing the ideation moment, part of the process, or the validation. Maybe that's even the platform to validate an idea. Do you like this? Am I going in the right direction? Or showing the behind the scenes. I can also think about, if it takes samples for a product that you want to offer in the future, it may be sharing those samples and just say, look, I got this, I got that. What do you think about it? What do you think about the direction that I'm taking? Yeah, there are different things that could be done. It's quite playful. What I like about it is that building a community is human interaction. So it can be playful. It's us. And yes, you want to showcase a product or features, an idea, but it's also creating a community that will understand you and that will be there for you. So when you launch, it will not be crickets. It will be a community like celebrating that moment with you.
I definitely think that that's true. Like when you launch into the ether, it's not automatic that you could get the flashiest website developed. I've seen people do this many times. Develop a very fancy website, launch to crickets, and have invested loads of money. But the internet needs you to connect with someone. Connection is a big part of how business works. And so that's not different online. And in order to be able to connect with you, you have to be present. And so this content that you're developing, this messaging that you are evolving, all of that is part of how do I connect with the people who I aim to serve. So that's one thing. One last thing that I would like to talk about is around the need to bring value. So we're talking about the fact that you are going to launch your business later. But even in order to capture people's attention, there's so much noise online now. And with AI, that's just getting much louder. There's so much content available to compete in the noisy environment. You have to add some value. And there are sort of 3 strategic ways of doing that. One is to intrigue people. And I think the exploration of ideation and validation of new products can do that. You need to interact. So 2-way interactions, whether you have a competition running or whether you have, you're asking questions and there's a survey going and they can put some input into that. But it's an interaction. It's not a one-way informational, and you can invite. So one of the things that's really lacking in our modern environment is connection, the options for connection. We're more connected from a technology perspective, and yet we don't feel like we belong anywhere. So creating an opportunity for people to be invited to belong to a like-minded group of people in the online setting, that's another way to kind of build that community and make it meaningful and have it add value for the members before you have a product.
So the question was, is it the chicken or the egg? Do we build a community first or we launch a business, or the other way around?
We think it's the chicken. The chicken
Yeah.
is the community in this particular situation. The chicken's the community and the egg is the business.
The golden egg.
Yeah,
So good luck with your idea. Connect with us. We want to hear more.
absolutely.
And
Peace.